Oi gente, tudo bem com vocês? Estamos aqui em Recife agora. We have been traveling around Nordeste, Brazil, from Alagoas to Pernambuco. We started off in Maragogi and we went from there to Porto de Galinhas, and now we're in Recife. So yes, if you haven't seen my previous videos in those places, then make sure to go and check them out. They'll be on my channel right now. Now we're in Recife, Primeira Vez aqui em Recife, the big city of Recife of Nordeste. So we're going to be doing a little bit of touring around here, checking out some sites, and then we'll also be trying to go over to Olinda as well to check out the historical city. Before we start, se inscreve no meu canal e siga no Instagram, falei com Jake. Dá like, por favor. And yeah, vamos lá, let's go explore Recife. So this area here is VIAGENS, and this is the famous beach, VIAGENS. As many of you guys probably know, it's a shark-infested beach, so yes, not many people swim here. It is suggested that you do not swim because of there being so many sharks around these waters and a history of many shark attacks here. You can see here, evite o banho de mar. Of course, it's not prohibited completely, but there's the recommendations at when you should not swim in the sea. Would I go for a swim? I think I wouldn't know.
Yeah. You don't see that?
Maybe at a low tide, I would. I don't know, I'll probably avoid it. It's just not worth the risk, is it? But as you can see, look. If you are drunk, just don't swim. That's like sharks or no sharks, you just shouldn't swim when you're drunk. If you're alone, exactly, I wouldn't do it if I was alone. In deep areas, at dawn and dusk, high tide, in the open sea, in muddy waters, with bleeding or wearing bright objects. So yeah, that's the recommendations for when you should not swim in these seas. So I don't know if you guys have seen the film Aquarius, but I watched it last year, and basically it features, the story is about this house here, which a commercial buyer was trying to buy and turn it into something like one of these buildings here. But the residents did not want to leave. They wanted to stay in this house, they wanted to live in this same historic house. And the film's about the woman who fights the case for everyone in the building to keep this house as it was and not to be taken down, rebuilt into one of these buildings. I believe it was back in 2003 that this actually happened. We just arrived at Makoze. This is a famous point in colonial times when they marked it as ground zero. So basically, this in colonial times, this is where they marked the point of Pernambuco. The center of Pernambuco is here. And from what I understand, it's kind of where they like mark the distances for the rest of the state of Pernambuco from this point. Can I say it's where they started to build the state of, or the city of Recife from this point? I'm not quite sure if it's exactly that. They say it in Carnival, this is where it is like the busiest spot where it all happens. No, obrigado. No, obrigado. So yeah, it's a very busy tourist spot with a lot of people selling these type of umbrellas, which are famous here in the state of Pernambuco. I'm not sure what the colours actually represent. Do you know any? If they represent it?
Frevo, they use as a frevo dance.
They use as a what?
Frevo, it's a dance here called frevo.
Oh yes, so they use the umbrellas as part of a dance here. I'm not sure if the colours actually represent anything. I know they have the colours on the state flag, the same colours, so maybe it's just that. But yeah, very famous part of Recife here. And also you have these very historic colonial style buildings here, which are very similar to the buildings in Portugal and Lisbon, and also Ouro Preto, obviously, because it was colonized by the Portuguese. So here's another historic building. It is actually one of the first synagogues in the Americas. You can see this plaque here, gives you the information about it. Built in the 17th century. Pele. Eita. Neymar. So we just come into the museum of the famous dolls of Pernambuco. I don't know too much about them, to be honest, so I've come here to learn a little bit about them. But as you can see, we have some dolls of all kind of historic or iconic figures, not only of Brazil but kind of the world. So you have Neymar here, Zico, right, the footballer?
No, Guga.
Huh?
Guga is the tennis player. This is Messi, no? Messi,
Yeah,
Marta.
this is Messi, Marta, and Pele. It's quite strange because they're so big, and when you like look over your shoulder, you think someone's there with a doll. My first time seeing these dolls, so yeah, we're gonna see what the guy says to learn about exactly what part of history they play in Pernambuco. Pernambuco flag behind me. It's looking good. That's a beautiful flag. So yes, we just spent the morning in Recife. We went to the Museum of Dolls. What was it called? The Embassy of Dolls, actually. Embassy of Muppets, yes. They originated in Portugal and were brought over to Brazil, and someone started creating these puppets in Brazil, and they started using them in the carnival, and it became very popular. They started to do like popular figures, so like famous people, and started recreating famous people and then using those puppets and putting them in the carnival. We also had the dance of Feveral, I think that's right, so which you probably would have seen in the little scene that I shot. That's the dance with the umbrellas that I was talking about earlier. So yeah, that actually originated from capoeira. When the slaves used to dance capoeira, the law enforcement used to forbid them from doing it, and to disguise their dance in capoeira, they used to take an umbrella and start dancing with the umbrella instead, and said it was not capoeira, it was a different dance. So that's where that dance originated from. And then we went on to the museum, Cais do Sertão, which was probably about kind of the history of Nordeste and kind of how the region developed. Also featured a lot of information about Luis Gonzaga, who was a big influence on the music that came from the Nordeste region. It's how he influenced music across the whole of Brazil. So yeah, it was a very interesting museum. So we just arrived in Arts and Grill in Olinda, and we're gonna have something to eat. It's got a beautiful view over Recife. It's very hot in here. Very hot. Muito quente. So for today's lunch, we have peixe, or molho, e arroz, e parão. Perão. I think that's how you say it. Perão. And camarão, a little bit of camarão. And he also gave me this homemade pimento as well, which they said is very strong. But I'm going to try it because I like my pimento, as you may know. Got my maqueca. It is like maqueca kind of sauce, right? Similar, it tastes like maqueca, but it's good. Mr. Fish. Very nice. Muito bom. Muito bom. Have a little bit of homemade farofa as well. And now, I'm going to try the special chili sauce, pimento. Let's test this out. Let's test it out. Imagine it's going to be hot. Super, super hot. Super hot. Like, unbelievably hot. I'll put a tiny bit. But yeah. Not needed for this weather. Yeah, I had a feeling it was going to be super hot. You can tell from the chilies. Nice, but very hot. It's just going to make me sweat even more than I'm sweating already. It's extremely hot at the moment. So we just sat in a restaurant and yeah, it was like sat next to the grill, so it's super, super hot. I think like this heat was okay next to the beach, I think, because it was kind of like, I think, but now we're in the city, it's like super, super hot. So yeah, it's becoming a bit of a struggle for me. I'm not coping very well. But we're gonna keep on moving. We will survive, guys. I will survive. So this is Cathedral da Sé, right in the middle of the centre of Olinda. It was built in 1540 by Portuguese colonisers. So yeah, it looks quite similar to like the churches we've seen in Ouro Preto and obviously other areas where the Portuguese built infrastructure, such as these churches. It's so beautiful here. You can see right across the beach. Yeah, you can see another church in the background. Impressive views. Very impressive views. Amazing. So guys, I think I'm gonna call the end of the vlog right here. We just decided to sit in some shade because yeah, it's like the sun, because of the time of the day, it's like 2 o'clock. The sun's practically right at the top of right in the middle of the sky, so it's super hot at the moment. There's no hiding from it at the moment. So yeah, this tour is becoming quite difficult. We will continue though. We will continue. So I got my sacole just to try and cool down this weather, and I also find my good friend Adam.
How's it going? Oi pessoal, tudo bem? Nos encontramos aqui em Recife, Olinda.
Olinda, we're back reunited. Somehow managed to find Adam out here in Olinda, just by pure chance. We happen to be in the same city at the same time again. Okay, so we're in the point called Ladeira de Misericórdia. So a very difficult one to pronounce, but they call this Ouro Preto's little cousin. It's very similar colonial houses to Ouro Preto. It's also a big old hill up there, just like Ouro Preto. So yeah, you can see Adam there, he's just waiting to get his picture. Waiting to get his picture with the house in his pink shirt. So here it is, guys. This is the famous Alceu Valença. This is his house in Olinda. I don't know if he's home right now. There's only one way to find out. Let's go inside. Something. Oh, a voyage. Yeah, he's not home. Unfortunately, he's not home today. So we're not gonna be able to do the duet that I plan to do with him today, so yeah, don't know what to do now. Don't know. Maybe I'll just look around Olinda for Alceu. Onde está Alceu? Onde está Alceu? Então, gente, voltei no meu hotel. Yes, we are back in the hotel. Day complete. Recife, Olinda tour done. Yeah, it wasn't easy in this heat. It's very hot for me. I mean, I've been here for like 1 week now in Nordeste, and most of the times I'm usually chilling under an umbrella on the beach, not suffering too much in the heat, or going for a swim in the ocean. So being here in the city and trying to explore as much as possible in this heat is definitely a challenge for me. So I was struggling a lot, but still, really enjoyed it here. There was a lot of history to discover and learn about here. So obviously we went to the museums in Recife, and just learning a little bit about the history there was really interesting. And then going over to Olinda, another Portuguese colloquial town. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Ouro Preto, apart from obviously Ouro Preto has a mountain scenery around, and then Olinda has like beach scenery and coconut trees, so a slight difference there. But in terms of like the churches, the buildings, the colors of the houses, it's all kind of similar architecture. But yeah, in general, it's just really interesting to learn about this part of Nordeste. There's so much history here, dating all the way back to 1500s and even further back to when the Dutch tried to invade and tried to colonize part of Brazil when they really wanted to get involved with the sugar trade. So yeah, I learned a thing or two. I learned a thing or two today, and I like learning these things about Brazil because there is a lot of history here and there's a lot of things to learn, which also allows you to sort of see how and why the regions are the way they are, why Nordeste is the way it is. There's probably a lot more to see in Recife. I know probably some of you guys from Pernambuco are watching this right now and thinking, why didn't you go to this place? Why didn't you go to that place? But we're on a tight schedule. We're just here for today, and tomorrow we're going back to Maceió because we have to catch our flight back on Sunday. So we don't really have much more time to kind of explore anywhere else in Recife. We just try to do kind of a bit of both in terms of sightseeing in Recife and then going over to Olinda to see a bit there. So unfortunately we couldn't do as much as we would like to have done, but if you guys do have any recommendations, I'm sure I will be back in Recife at some point. I heard the carnival is really good here, so I definitely want to come back during carnival season to Recife and Olinda because that would be really cool to see. Especially I want to see those puppets as well that I checked out earlier. I want to see those in Carnival. But yeah, if you do have any other recommendations, put them in the comments and I can check them out for the next time I'm here. I've really enjoyed my time here in Pernambuco and Alagoas. It's been really nice. I really enjoyed the vibe of it here. The weather, of course, is amazing. It's been nice to be able to just relax in this sunshine and just enjoy the vibe of the place in general, really. All the different foods that I've tried here, everything's been like a whole new experience. It's definitely like a new part of Brazil for me. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Definitely want to come back to Nordeste and explore more cities, more regions, more beaches here. There's a lot more to see here, not only just beaches. I've heard there's some really beautiful national parks and canyons to check out here as well. So all that to come in the future, I hope. But until then, guys, this is it for now. My vlogs in Nordeste have come to an end. So yeah, if you enjoyed them, give a thumbs up. And if you enjoyed my videos recently, then make sure you subscribe, because there is going to be more videos to come. I'm sure I'm going to find some more places to explore in Brazil over these next few weeks. So make sure you subscribe. The link is down there. Press the button down there and subscribe. And yeah, dá like. Me siga no Instagram, fale com Jake. Until then, guys, até mais, até logo, ciao.